What do you say to someone who opens and tells you they have depression? One thing that probably won't get said. Invite them to things. Being social can be hard when you're depressed, so don't force them to, but it's still nice to be asked even if you don't feel up to going. It will help them feel wanted even if they always say no. The best thing you could do is to let them know they are not alone and encourage them to reach out and get help. Someone with depression should never let it go untreated. It is awful. Don't tell them let me know what I can do for you, instead say what do you need? Then ignore them and do what you can. Bring food. Randomly pick them up and get them out of the house. Recognize what they're going through and try to relate without one-upping from experience on the depressed side. We don't want to eat and we don't want to go out, even though we really do want to. I had pretty bad depression for 3 years until I finally got around to seeing a therapist. They really do help, and many will be flexible with their pay depending on your financial situation. I'm still not 100% myself, but I feel better. But to answer your question, I'd tell them I'll be there for them even though we don't need to talk. Just being present. If they want to do anything, maybe food and just go somewhere to forget about things. Tell them my experiences, etc. Speaking from experience. Honestly, I feel it's more about what not to say. Don't immediately try to cheer them up. I know that sounds weird, but few people are able to just cheer someone up that has depression, and most attempts end up making the person feel worse. Just listen. Tell them you're there for them if they need anything, and encourage them to find help, but do not push. Ask if they want to go for coffee and talk about it or something. You will help someone far more by making them feel like you're there for them than by trying to almost push fun on them. Listening to what they have to say is more important than what you have to say to them. I'm glad you told me. As someone who used to struggle with it, sympathy gets old. Hearing if you need anything at all, or if you need to call me at 3 a.m., don't hesitate to, I'm here for you. It's exhausting. The simple phrase of I'm glad you told me shows that you value their friendship and makes them feel that they're not alone, even if it's not explicitly stated, and it's not emotionally draining to hear. On a similar note, someone told me they were suicidal. I did the best I could. We talked for hours. Now once a week they continually bring up how miserable they are, so I can convince them to stop talking like that. Nothing I say is helping them. It's like an attention and feeling sorry for themselves thing. They say I'm their only friend and did what to do. They are putting a ton of stress on me. I've told them many times we can be friends, but I can't deal with them talking about it anymore. It's honestly making me stressed to the point of physical and mental sickness. Lots of people are going to suggest professional help, inviting them to things, etc. One of the biggest things you can do, though, is ask them for help on something, even if it's small. Be genuine about it. Sometimes it's not something you expressly need, but help will make something easier for you. Being helpful gives people a sense of purpose. It seems really stupid for you to ask them for help, but it gives them purpose. I speak from personal experience. Often, my depression manifests as feeling like I am useless. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Thanks for trusting me enough to tell me. I'm here for you however you need me. Then go out of your way to find and maintain that delicate balance of checking in and injecting yourself without coming across as annoying. At some point soon ask, have you considered seeing someone to talk about your depression? And do everything to encourage them to without making it sound like they'll get all the answers and be fixed if they just do the right things. Chronic depression here, hi. Maybe some advice on what to say and what is completely unnecessary. We know that we need help. Stop saying that. It doesn't make a therapist appear to help us and give us an appointment. It's infuriating and alienating, makes you not want to talk about it and just swallow it up in the first place. I'm not mean-spirited, but that was bugging me for a long time. There are also people that do not trust doctors due to things that happen to them or the way they were raised. So, that could lock them up even more. What generally is helpful is to ask small questions, like if they want to talk about it. If you don't care, don't you though. There's nothing worse than being lied to because it seems nice to do when you're constantly on the verge of tears and frustration. Sometimes we just need room to vent, cause it's stressing out and really tiring how people react to you in weak phases. Telling us that we are ignorant or weak, just acting to get attention is not only wrong, but totally cruel. Having depression means, well, it means a lot. But often it's that you can't really care about a lot of things, cause your brain doesn't connect properly due to many variables one might have in their cerebral connections. You don't feel like you are loved or getting enough respect for the person that you are. It makes you unlogical, so it might be really helpful to not put everything someone with depression says on a golden scale. I don't mean not being aware of their emotions, but I think that goes to talking with everyone in the world. You're just sad. Get out of bed and exercise, let's go out for drinks, you'll get better in no time, I heard you laughing today, bro, you're just shitting me, 3 replies I got back in my depression days. People knows jack shit about the feeling. I recommend not opening up to anyone who's not prepared to help you. Whenever someone tells me something traumatic, sex assault, mental health issues, etc., I always say the same things. 1. I believe you. 2. Thank you for trusting me enough to tell me. 3. When you want to talk about it, I want to listen to you because I care about you. So often the disclosure of trauma is met with "Have you tried being happy?" Or "Are you sure XYZ?" or other statements which minimize the pain and make the injured person feel like they shouldn't have told anyone in the first place. If someone tells you something awful, let them know you believe them and then listen. Don't talk, just be present. You can't do anything else until you know what's going on, and a lot of times the person just needs to know they have support and aren't so alone. Once you know what's going on, then you can start trying be proactive. Source: I work with assault and sexual assault victims as part of my job. Many have mental health problems as a result of trauma. There are many types of depression. It's not just being sad. Often it's feeling tired, no energy, no motivation for no reason. Ask them if they want to do something like see a movie. And if they say no one time, keep asking them to do things with you every now and then. I've lived with it for 55 years, and it sucks not having the energy to participate the way other people do, but there are times when I can and enjoy being with other people. My son opened up to me after his grade 12 graduation ceremony last night. Asked to speak to me alone in the garage. He's struggled with mental health throughout high school, so I was hoping lately had been better. He was so much more outgoing during the ceremony and lately than I expected that I thought he was doing much better and making progress. Transitional times are overwhelming for all of us. I'm not sure if I said enough right things, but I think definitely you want to encourage someone to keep opening up. Every time, each time. Someone said keep inviting them. I notice my son is happiest when he feels wanted and included. Also, keep showing up for the person. They may not ask or invite you to events or moments. It may seem like they are uninterested. They are not. Plus encouragement is needed. They don't always ask or want to impose. Please keep showing up for the people in your life that you know have depression and other mental health conditions. OE. Seek professional help. Go and see somebody specialized in treating this kind of mental illness and do not feel ashamed about it, not even a bit. Having depression is a serious issue and should be treated as such. Speaking from personal experience, so your mileage may vary, but recognize that it probably took a ton of courage to open up about it. Also realize that they probably don't expect you to fix their problems for them, and for that matter, don't expect them to know exactly what they want from you either. They're in a rough spot emotionally and mentally, so don't expect them to have much more in the way of answers than you do. Also, know that they will still probably be able to laugh at jokes and even enjoy themselves in the short term, but that doesn't usually last forever. Depression is rarely consistent. Be there for them, be gentle with them, acknowledge their negative emotions, but don't feed into them, and help them believe that the evil goblin in their head is wrong about them. Some days they just need someone to tell them that they're a good person. That all said, realize that it's not all up to you. If you need a break from it, that's okay. I know I would personally prefer a simple "Hey, I'm sorry, but I don't think I can help with this today" text than silence, but I can see how that might upset some people, so you know. Finally, though it's good advice, realize that they've probably already heard you need to go to therapy, and have you considered medication? From many people before. That's my experience, at least. Join the club. In the moment? It depends on the person. Personally, the best response I got was someone just listening and saying, "I know that's tough, I'm sorry you had to go through that," and then listening more. It didn't magically cure me, but it felt good to be heard. And the listening part is key, because a lot of people will offer their shoulder to cry on. In theory, you see it all the time with the "be kind to yourself, reach out to me" posts on social media, But something I had to learn the hard way is very few people will actually make the time for you, and if you find them, hold on to them. They're special. Long term, I think the reaction most people want is to not be treated any differently. I went through a period myself where I never talked about my depression. Bottled it up and let it come out in other ways. That was unhealthy. Then, when I was coming to terms with the reality of my mental state, I went through a phase where I was very upfront and told even casual acquaintances about my problems. I wanted to own it. That wasn't great either, as I found out later, a lot of the people who preached reach out to me it's nothing to be embarrassed about actually overnight changed their behavior to treatment of me. They'd stop inviting me out, stop trying to start conversation on nights out, or just generally be awkward around me. It's not their fault, mental illness is hard to grapple with and makes a lot of people uncomfortable. There's still a terrible stigma attached to it. I did find people in my life who were there for me and never treated me differently, and I'm so thankful for them because they made me feel normal and secure in one of the most tumultuous times in my life, when I questioned everything about myself and thought I was a freak. But some people still wanted me around when I felt worthless and still asked about me when I felt like a lost cause. Those people saved me. They made me feel normal again. A quick PSA that doesn't get mentioned enough though is if your friend is going through depression, mental illness and talks to you vents all the time, it's normal to feel emotionally exhausted or overburdened. Helping someone through depression can be very challenging, and you need to take time for yourself too, but most importantly make sure that you're not the only person they talk to about this. The entire weight of one person's mental health is too much for anyone who's not a trained psychologist counselor, and you should encourage your friend to seek professional help if they can afford it. If not, get them to open up to a few other people. A support network is vital for both your and their mental well-being. I have been depressed for almost 2 decades, and I have no idea on what to tell them. I couldn't tell them my story. I couldn't love myself, so what I did was make an imaginary friend who loves me much more than anything because his existence depends on mine. And having someone say positive things about you when all you can think of is how useless, pathetic, ugly and evil you are feels like the warmest hug in a cold winter. When you wanted to die and you can't because someone actually relies on your existence is helpful. My imaginary friend helped me see the world in another perspective. He made me see my family loves and cares about me. That it is not impossible to love me and that I may act rash and burst at times, my heart is pure and I am kind. Maybe I just replaced my mental illness with another one, but heck, I am much happier and not hurting anyone. So. You don't have to say anything. They just need you to listen. I am pretty open with my mental health struggles. And by far, the most meaningful response is something like, "I can't imagine what you are going through, but it sounds horrible. I'm here for you however you need it. I'm here for you. If you ever get to feeling down, just text me. I may not always respond right away, but trust me I will respond. I'm here for you." Downvotes at the ready. I honestly wouldn't take them seriously. It's like people telling me they're an alcoholic because they drink maybe 3 times a week. Everyone is depressed nowadays. Sometimes, it's better to just listen. That may be what they need. Don't ask them what they are depressed about. Same. Me too, thanks. Don't tell them they are wrong. Life sucks. Anyone who disagrees is just farting rainbows. Come. We drink tonight. Cool, me too. You got a therapist. No, here is mine, they are really good and look, I know it is scary talking about it. People say get over it or it's not real, but this therapist helps. It's okay to be scared to talk about it, it's okay not to like it, but it's not okay to keep it untold. We can meet up after you set an appointment, chill and talk about corgis or cats. You don't have to say anything, but listening will assist. Treat them normally and try to help them think differently about whatever it is that's bothering them. Don't tell them you have nothing to be sad about. That's the worst. Let them know that you are happy to lend an ear and encourage them to get the professional help they need. Also, let them know that nothing is wrong with getting help. You say okay and treat it as completely normal. I'm still dealing with suicidal depression. As long as you listen. Tell us you love us. I've been told more than once I just need to go outside. That will make me better, so please don't tell us to just go for a walk, just get some air, it's not that bad, you don't need. Oh, me too hug. Same. Me too, bud. The best thing anyone can say is thank you. Thank them for sharing that piece of themselves with you. It wasn't an easy thing to do, and chances are they worry you will view it as a burden. Giving them the knowledge that you are a willing participant in the conversation is the most helpful thing you can do. Oof. As literally everyone, I can assure you that the correct answer is, why don't you just stop being sad? Nothing, that person is me. I have dealt with depression, so whenever I meet someone or come across with someone dealing with depression, I always ask them if they want to hear my story. I am not ashamed of it and learn so much. I hope that me opening up to them gives them something to relate to, as well as show them that I have walked in their shoes before. Invite them to do activities which include exercise, like going on a bike ride or a hike. Being outside doing something helps a lot. Not more than therapy, mind you, but taking one's mind off of things and being active can help a bit. Also, don't talk shit about therapy or medications. They really can help. But be on the listen for things which might be warning signs in case something goes awry during treatment. Occasionally therapists give really bad advice, and medications can have some wicked side effects. Most of all, if you're up to it, don't shut them out and be patient with them. When living with depression, it can be difficult to maintain long-term friendships, and showing that you'll be there and caring for the long haul helps. Oh, and finally, you can't fix them. But you can support them. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth since everybody is different, but as a person who has personally dealt with problematic hopeless thoughts, I can tell you that telling them I'm here for you to talk or I'm glad you opened up are some of the best things to be heard. Although people with depression obviously don't want to be suffering, a lot of the time they don't want advice or solutions unless they personally ask for it because they've been given the same tips over and over again. Not saying that you shouldn't help them, but telling them something like try finding a hobby that'll keep you looking forward to something is horrible, since they've probably already been suggested this multiple times by other. Be there for them, and when they want to talk, listen, because they don't want you to become their personal therapist or counselor. They want a friend who can listen and show interest and understanding in their problems. Just ain't the same with counselors. Edit. Of course, make sure they are getting the help they need though. If a person has been diagnosed and on prescription, I think you should leave them getting treatment alone and let them talk about how they feel about the situation. If you bleed, I'm bleeding for you. If you cry, I'm crying with you. We don't have to be in the same room for me to be with you. Give him or her the longest and most loved hug he or she ever had and will have. Tell that he's not alone, and even if he don't see it, but he is loved by you, other friends and his family. Sounds stupid, but it helps a near family member that suffers from chronic depression for 20 years. And encourage him to get help. 1. Offer to find them help. 2. Occasionally when you have the time, they just need someone to listen. Don't offer advice, don't offer to fix them, don't offer anything, just listen. However, don't become their stand-in therapist either. Set boundaries. Well, in that moment, hugs and asking if they want to talk about it. Let them know that that's okay, you're not gonna not accept them for it, it does not define them, but you understand it is something that they are struggling with. And in any future scenario, just be there for them. Don't treat them like a charity case, more on that, help people, but just don't treat anyone like a charity case. I start by giving them a good and genuine hug, then let them talk. Just sitting there and listen is the best thing you can do. Make sure they aren't in immediate danger of hurting themselves. After that, help them get help and offer support. I would say same here man, let's talk. I also have depression, so I just tell them if they want someone to talk to who understands, then I'm here. Tell them that you want to hang out with them more often. You're not alone. I told 2 friends and they just opened up about theirs when I told them, and we shared our coping methods. I don't know how I managed to pick 2 other friends who were depressed, maybe I just recognized it from my own behavior. Hug them and let them know there are people who care about you, and tell them to get help while let them open to me about all their stuff. I'm here for a man. Sometimes just listening and making them feel understood and important works wonders. For me, the fan base of my favorite band made me feel as though my feelings were valid and not stupid. It turned me around a lot. You listen and listen and listen. When they stop talking, it is your turn. Speak from your heart, soothing, smile whenever possible, say you will always be there for them, suggest they get help, counseling, or at least talk to friends. Always comfort, never confront. Do you want to talk about it? Please let me know if how I can help. Tell them it's going to be okay. Ask them if they need help. Don't judge. Don't ask too many questions that just digs the sadness deep. Remind them that if they ever need someone to talk to, you'd be there for them. I sit them down and talk to them. I'm sorry to hear that, I know it can be really rough. Are you getting any help for that? Don't feel like you have to convince them to seek therapy if they aren't already. Just consider it your job to let them know you care, that their life is valuable, and that it's not taboo to talk about mental health issues or seek help when you need it. If you're close enough to know friends and/or family, you can check in with them after. They will want to know that a loved one is depressed, and it's not breaking a confidence to care about someone staying alive. Poe. Welcome. Friend. Me using a JonTron quote? Ooh, he might be me. If you need me, I'll be there. I'm always going to stick by you and help you get through these tough times. I will first of hug them and second hang around them and invite them to stuff and make they don't go overboard. Absolutely nothing. I just hug them and listen to them. Time for therapy. Per second, no, honestly, I ask for and share stories. Nothing personal, just start casual like, are you okay, do you need anything? And move to whatever they want to talk about to get their mind off of it. I'd have some friends with depression, and when they admit they have it, I would go ahead and try to help them out. I'm here if you want to talk. Tell them that you'll help them if they feel confident enough to come out, and that probably means that you're the one person they trust the most, and you should try to help them any way you can, and above all, make them know that they matter not only to you but all of the people they interact with. Say nothing, listen. Listen until they're done. Then just be silent for a minute, you don't need to fix it, and you don't need to fill the void of silence right away. Then offer support. Then recommend therapy. Sometimes natural supports are amazing, and ultimately they're crucial, but they may not equate to professional help. Source: I'm a therapist who suffered through 12 years of intense depression in my younger years. Get a dog. If they have the courage to open up to you about having it, let them know that you're there for them. Also, it helps to do more listening than talking, sometimes. Like, words of encouragement and such are great, but sometimes it just feels nice to vent out how shitty you feel about everything and get a hug. That I'm always there to support them whenever they need it. One thing you don't say. Yes, sometimes I feel a bit sad too. Take a salt pill and walk it off. Been there. It sucks. It's not that you're sad all the time, it's just you have this weight hanging on you, and you're not sure if how it's going to be better. I offer to help if I can, get them talking, and be there as a resource, but not fixating on trying to fix them, cheer them up, but just be a presence in their life. Listen and ask them what they most need right now from you. I'm here if you need help. I might not be the best at giving you the help you need, but if you want to talk, I'm here. If you just need a distraction or a home-cooked meal or a hand at finding the right person to help you, let me know. You don't need to be alone if you don't want to. And if you don't want to talk to me about it, and for us to pretend this never happened, that's fine too, but I'm still going to ask you every over in a while how you're doing so you remember I'm here for you. I've used some version of this several times, usually even just the thought of someone having their back and not judging them is helpful and can encourage them to seek professional help. Sit and listen to them. Encourage them that I'm here to help. Depends. Are they a friend, deserving of your support? Or just an oversharing acquaintance or stranger? Follow your gut in each instance. Isn't depression just a fancy word for feeling bummed out? Just let them know you're there for them if they need anything. Beyond that, they're still the same person you've always known. So just take it from there. Thank you for asking. It kinda awkward. I don't believe it unless they have been diagnosed by a physician. Too many lazy, entitled people do this to seek attention and make solvable problems worse. Weird flex, but okay. The most important things to do is listen, not talk. Most things you do won't make them happy. Just let them know that if they ever need to talk that you'll be there for them, and stay true to that promise. What can I do to help? Are you seeing a therapist? I'm here for you and you are not alone. I'm here for you and I'll always be available if you need help. Even if it's the middle of the night, if you need to, call me. Thanks for putting an end to your depression suppression. Nothing, just keep listening. Disclaimer: I don't have any training with this kind of thing. I think emotional support and stuff like I'm here for you is really nice. I think you should aim for more tangible goal-orientated stuff. I can help you find someone to help with this. I love you, and I'll do what you need me to do to help you. Have yourself a damn good one. This might be for a little later on, but tell them to take their damn meds, even if they start feeling better and think they don't need them. Can't stress this enough. Bitch, me too, the fuck. Ask them about it, what it's like, if they want to talk or not, give them a hug, just hang out with them, don't put pressure on them if they don't want to try it now. Add in tiny things a day, like ask them to go for a small walk. If they won't do that, then ask them if they want to help you do something creative like paint or draw, play board games. Don't be too chatty if they clearly find it uncomfortable talking too much. Same. Aside from acknowledging that they are not alone in this and that help is available to them, treat them like Pooh and Piglet and Tigger. Treaty or check in on them if you haven't heard from them in a while. Invite them to do things with you as often as you can. First, comfort them and tell them they're not alone. Then invite them to a chill party or get together, but make it look like you wanted to invite them before you found out about the depression. Encourage them to get help and invite them to things. Encourage them to do things with you. Don't be super pushy, but getting them to do things, whether it's watching movies, hanging out, exercising with people they like, it all helps. No way, me too. Not sure, actually been on antidepressants for like a month. I'm with family, I'm Florida in theme parks and shit with fast passes, and I still hate life. Be there for them. Be the one to reach out and listen hard when they approach you. Thanks for opening up. Let me know if there is anything you need, then don't treat them differently. Treating people differently is what causes people to not open up to others. Nothing at all. The last thing I want is real-life people knowing how deep into depression I am. Having them acknowledge it constantly is just adding salt to the wound. Be nice and try keep being the same way you have always been. Having people change is terrible. Man, I've had depression for like 4 years, and I don't even know what to say in this situation. I would probably just give them a hug. I'm here to talk if you want. Offer to hang out with them more and get them out of the house.